This story is so sad. I can't be funny when I'm telling a story like this. And because of that, there's not going to be any pictures. Back in the day, when I had just moved to Las Vegas, since I left Cleveland, Ohio while I was still in the 10th grade and I didn't feel like going through the last 2 years of high school, I attended a place called Desert Rose Adult High School. Now, where I was living at the time, I was living on Martin Luther King and Rancho, which was a particularly bad area. Anyone who lives in Las Vegas knows because it's super close to the lettered streets. Lettered streets is basically entire neighborhoods of projects. Just, it's bad. The houses don't look like the projects. There's a really, really good chance you'll get shot walking down those streets. Now, Desert Rose Adult High was only like 4 or 5 blocks away from where I was living at the time. Desert Rose Adult High School, this place was horrifically bad. I'm guessing a lot of people must have came from the lettered streets and finished their schooling at the Desert Rose Adult High, because this school was so bad. There was at least one fight every day at lunch, man. This was an 18-year-old and older school. So we just ain't talking about no regular fights, man. We talking about people getting stabbed. There was some shootings. It was just a really, really, really freaking bad place. There was a lot of people who were dealing drugs, doing a lot of stuff that they just weren't supposed to be freaking doing at this school. When I first started going there, I didn't really have a lot of problems with a lot of people at this school because, you know, I knew who not to talk to. I didn't talk to anyone who dressed like a gangbanger or anyone who looked like they might have been trouble. Now, my class consisted of a lot of really cool people. And the way Desert Rose works is you stay in the same classroom all day. You don't switch classes for different subjects. You learn all your subjects in the same class and you just take a test at the end of your year or whatever. And if you pass, you get your high school diploma. Anyone who knows me in real life knows I'm super talkative. I have ADHD. I talk to everybody. When I get up in my Desert Rose class, I'm bullshitting with people. I'm laughing, joking. I'm making friends real fast. There was this Mexican dude. We're going to call him Javier. And there was a Puerto Rican girl. We're going to call her Maria. There was another girl. We're going to call her Heather. I nicknamed this chick Heather Swallows, which sounds horrible, but it was because at the time I was watching a lot of porn and shit, and there was this chick on the site that I would always go to called Heather Swallows. I don't know, one day I was just like, oh look, it's Heather Swallows. I'm just making fun of her and shit. She was hella mad because she didn't want that name. But, you know, at the same time, it's funny because since she was so ugly and short, she got no positive male attention. So she was just happy that anybody would fucking talk to her, you know? So anyway, I'm in this class, man, and I'm talking with Javier, and I'm laughing and joking with some of my other classmates. And then I go over to talk to Maria. Now, I didn't know who Maria was, but, you know, I'm just being friendly. I try to talk to Maria, man. First thing she says to me is she just blows me off hella hard. Like, you know, I don't know you. I don't want to know you. Get out of my face. She was one of those the hard chicks, you know what I mean? Like a lot of dudes have run into chicks who they would basically just call a female dog because she's so mean. That's what this chick's attitude was like. The chick was hella frisky. I just quit talking to her, went back over, was talking to my group. Now fast forward about 2 weeks later, I haven't talked to Marie anymore. I don't want to talk to her. She's just super mean, and I usually don't talk to people like that. Again, I'm in class, man. We messing around, we laughing, joking, and it becomes lunchtime. I never brought lunch when I went to Desert Rose. I was like 19 at the time. I didn't really cook. I would usually buy my food there, but the food I would buy there sucked. If any of you guys have listened to the story of Stephanie when she used to cook that horrible food for me, it wasn't that bad, but it was close enough as to where I wouldn't want to eat this crap. So I would usually just go hungry. Around lunchtime, I smelled this delicious smelling Italian food smell, right? I'm looking around the classroom to see where it's coming from, and I come upon Maria. And Maria has this Tupperware dish in front of her, and it's got this delicious looking fettuccine spaghetti sauce looking concoction up in it. It's got meat. She's got freaking sourdough bread with butter on it. My mouth is watering looking at this. I walk up on her, man, and I'm like, you know what? I know we ain't friends or nothing, man, but dude, that smells delicious. Now, apparently complimenting the female on her cooking is the best way to get in good with a chick. You know, so the girl looks up at me, man, she smiles. She's like, yo, you know what? Tell you the truth, I don't have any bus money today. So if you throw me $6, you can have my lunch. I just want money to get home. I'm like, man, that's it? $6? It's nothing. I break her off the $6 or whatever, man. Dude, oh my God, that food was delicious. And she sat there and watched me scarf this food down, dude. I licked the plate. And after I get done eating the food, man, she's like, so you liked it? I'm like, dude, liked it is not the word. If every day you bring me lunch, man, I will give you bus money. Well, needless to say, after that, me and Maria, we became tight. I'm talking super tight. All of that meanness or whatever, that went right out the window, man. Me and this girl, man, we're laughing, joking every single day. So much so as to where we even started hanging out outside the classroom. But me and her, we never got down on no relationship, us being together, you know, we have sex type stuff. Like this chick was like the sister that I never had. We got along so well, dude. We would just talk for hours and just laugh and joke all the time, man. Now, Maria's best friend in the class was Heather Swallows. Heather Swallows was particularly ugly. Not only was she fat, but she was short and she had the face of someone else's butt. Of course, me, I never treated her that way. I always treated her like she was cool. You know, I always made fun of her because of, you know, the nickname I had given her, Heather Swallows. Other than that, I treat the chick like a human being. But you could tell she was always really, really, really mad that Maria, this chick was bad. Her body, her face, chick wore glasses. I don't know why, but her glasses made her that much more prettier. She had green eyes, but you know, after my first encounter with her of how bad her attitude was, I felt like that is what her attitude would resort back to if I dated her. So with that, we just stayed friends. I never made a move on her. Now, even though Heather was good friends with Maria, I'm talking they knew each other's families. They were really, really close outside of school. That's how close these two girls were. I could always tell that Heather always bore some type of resentment towards Maria for being as pretty as she was, because she got a lot of male attention, especially within our class at that. A lot of dudes in our class was always hitting on Maria, and nobody ever went within like 3 to 5 feet of Heather's Oompa Loompa looking ass. I forgot what Mexican name I gave the dude. We're just gonna say it's Jose again. Now, Jose, this dude, he was cool, man. You know, we always conversated in class, but this dude always talked about sex. So that's all he talked about, which was cool, because I'm a dude too, but this dude just came off as particularly doggish. He didn't care. He would bone anything for the most part, right? The dude was a man whore. With that being said, you know, one day we're up in class, man. It's me, Maria, Heather, and Jose. We're all in a group or whatever. We're talking, laughing, joking or whatever. And, you know, Jose, he's just used sexual reference this, sexual reference that. And he starts hitting on Maria, like super tough or whatever. It wasn't a big deal to me. I'm just figuring, okay, well, that's Jose being Jose. Couple of days later, we're in class again. And Jose is being Jose towards Maria. He's hitting on her, hitting on her, hitting on her. I can tell Heather is getting particularly mad and or jealous. Not only Jose, but no one else ever hit on her. This chick, Heather, would throw herself at me all the time. And of course, because of the way she looked, I ain't want nothing to do with her. But I could tell that will always bother her. Add insult to injury, she used to hit on Jose as well. And of course, Jose didn't want nothing to do with her because of the way she looked. On the flip side, everybody wanted something to do with Maria. And I could tell that Heather was always a little bit perturbed and jealous about that. Now, with that being said, after that day in class, we all went to lunch or whatever. Now, me, of course, I didn't eat the lunch because Maria would make my food for me, but I would always go out, conversate with other people outside of my classroom during the lunchtime, you know, take a little bit of break. Today in particular, I forgot my backpack. And you don't leave your backpack inside of any classrooms in Desert Rose. Other kids will come in classrooms and steal all your crap. So you take all your stuff with you at Desert Rose Adult High. So that day, I had accidentally left my backpack in the class. So like 10 minutes after I left out the classroom or whatever, I realized I left my backpack inside of the classroom. So I go back to get my backpack. I open up the door and I walk in and I start hearing a funny sound. While I'm looking for my backpack, I'm weirdly intrigued by whatever weird sound this is. I go over and I see behind the teacher's desk, it's Maria, and she's smashing the homie Jose, and they are going at it. So much so that they didn't even notice me come into the freaking classroom. They are getting it in. Of course, me, I see this and I laugh, you know. They see me and they stop. Oh my God. Oh, Maurice, hey, no. It's not what it looks like. I'm like, dude, I ain't even tripping, man. Like, I'm just here to grab my backpack. You know, y'all can go ahead and keep on doing what y'all doing or whatever. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm about to head out to lunch. You know, Marie's like, oh my God, yo, hey, thank you so much. And it's really funny too, cause Jose was looking like he wanted to give me dap, but I'm not about to touch his hand because. So I grab my backpack and I dip out or whatever, you know, and I close the door behind me. I roll out, I finish lunch or whatever, man. You know, we come back from lunch. So, you know, we finish the rest of the day in class, man. Everything's cool. We got like a week break at Desert Rose. Come back from the break and I come into class. Jose is sitting on the desk. He is crying his eyes out, man. Half the freaking class is up in there crying, dude. I'm asking people like, what's wrong? You know, Heather's over there crying. She's sitting next to Jose. Jose is crying, man. The whole class is just down. I'm like, dude, what's wrong? You know, and somebody tells me apparently Maria had died. She killed herself during the break. And I'm just like, that don't make no sense. You know, I'm just like, Maria was a really happy person. Like, why would she do that? Like, what sense? That made no sense to me. So I'm asking people in the classroom, man. Nobody really has no information. I go and I ask Jose, and Jose, through, you know, him choking back tears and crying and whatnot, there's enough of a breath between that, and he tells me, well, apparently Maria, she had a boyfriend that she was living with, and he somehow found out that Jose and Maria had sex in the classroom. I'm honestly surprised that nobody like thought that I had said something or whatever, but I'm pretty sure like that didn't make no sense because I didn't know Maria's boyfriend. You know, I never saw him or whatever. So I'm, you know, but I'm surprised none of them ever came at me like, hey dude, did you tell him? Like nobody ever asked me that or whatever. Of course I didn't. Ain't none of my business. I ain't tell nobody. So I'm just like, how could he find out? Like, what sense does that make? The dude did not go to the school. Needless to say, man, a couple of days passed or whatever, and Maria's boyfriend came to the school to collect some of her belongings out of the classroom. And when he got there, I pulled him aside. I'm like, hey, man, you know, I was really good friends with Maria, man. You know, she was a really good friend of mine. What happened? He's like, well, the boyfriend told me what was up. Apparently, this is what happened. And this man, dude, I've never been so mad in my life when I found out what actually happened. Now, it was no secret that Maria and her boyfriend had problems in a relationship. Now, they had a baby together and they had taken a little bitty break. Maria still loved her boyfriend or whatever, but, you know, there was a lot of stuff he did in the relationship that, you know, she didn't like, but she still loved him. With that being said, apparently Heather had a crush on Maria's boyfriend. Now, I don't know how she found out what happened in the classroom, but she found out about it or whatever. Maybe she walked in after I had left or before I left or whatever, but she found out, right? Because she was so close to Maria, she knew Maria's boyfriend personally. And not only that, just like I said, she also had a crush on him. So one day she goes to Maria's boyfriend and she's like, hey, you know, I would treat you way better than Maria. At least you wouldn't have to worry about me not being faithful to you. Of course, the dude is like, excuse me? What are you talking about? Heather's like, oh, no, nothing, you know, no, nothing, I've said too much, no, nothing. Now, of course, Maria's boyfriend's like, whoa, no, you can't say something like that and just walk away. What's going on? Like, let me know, what the hell's going on? So he begs Heather so much, she finally relents. Now, of course, to me, I know she wanted to tell him, and she would have told him even if he had not asked. Sooner or later. Needless to say, after the boyfriend found this out, he goes to Maria and he yells at her, he screams at her. Even though they were on their little break or whatever, you know, they had said they wouldn't. He's like, you know what? No, you a whore. I can't mess with you. No, I don't want nothing to do with you. Screw you. Screw everything. I'm done. And, you know, she's chasing after him. Baby, no, crying or whatever. Baby, no. Please, you know, I love you. I care about you. You know, he's like, no, get off me. You know, he pushes her off or whatever and dips out. This is where stuff gets bad, man. Apparently, Maria's mother found Maria's body. Maria had called Maria's mom right before she did it. Hella distraught, crying, just freaking out. After she gets off the phone with her mom, she goes into the kitchen, makes like 6 or 7 baby bottles, puts them in the crib with her baby so that he can eat. And she goes into her bedroom and she hangs herself. Now, I don't remember exactly what she hung herself on. I don't remember enough of, the details to say that. And that really bothered me, dude, because like she was one of those people that acted tough. Anybody who's been around a lot of women or people in general know that the toughest acting people are usually the softest on the inside. And that chick was super soft, man. She was a really, really cool girl, man, Of course, I'm mad at Heather. I don't have nothing to say to this chick, dude. And of course, we still have like 3 months left in the freaking school year to go back to school. And while I'm at school, I never told Heather that I knew what she did or whatever. Till this day, I've never told Heather that I know what she did or whatever. But this chick would still try to come around me. And it would just infuriate me whenever this chick would try to talk to me. To the point where I'm yelling at this chick, dude, don't talk to me. Get away from me. Like, dude, don't come nowhere near me. And she would still try to come and kick it with me. I remember 1 or 2 times she would start crying because like I would tell her to get the hell away from me. I would yell at her to get away from me. I don't want nothing to do with you. And this chick would continually try to freaking talk to me. It would just infuriate me that this chick would do what she did on purpose. Not to say that she knew Maria was going to do what she did, but she did what she did on purpose because she was jealous of Maria and wanted to steal her boyfriend because she couldn't get no man of her own. That really made me mad, dude. I couldn't go anywhere near this girl after that. What's really crazy is that situation really, really messed with Jose, man, because he really, really liked that girl. He really did. 3 years after we left Desert Rose, I ended up seeing Heather again at the downtown bus station, and the chick runs up to me and tries to give me a hug or whatever, and I stiff-armed her off me. Like, don't get that close. Like, she's like, yeah, I've got a kid now. Have you been? Blah, blah, blah. I'm just looking at this girl like, you are less than nothing to me. Like, for real. I remember I walked off halfway through her trying to conversate with me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't fake it. I couldn't even act like I liked her in any way, shape, or form as a human being. I couldn't even do it, man. I think I actually saw Heather like 2 years ago, but I just kept walking, dude. I can't say nothing to her. But that's the BHD story time for today, man. That's like one of my only really sad stories, to tell you the truth. A lot of them are just really like either violent or ratchet. But see you guys next time. I hope you guys, pick your friends, man. Be real careful at who you divulge really secret information to as far as your friends go, because they might be envious, and envious people would love to see your downfall, man. Be careful of your friends. And with that, BHD up out of this. Ain't nobody getting it, huh? Now ain't no punk. You want it? Come get a taste. Never scared.